Okay, you'll all have to forgive me because this is like the third revision of the script since I started writing in December because someone at Nintendo decides to choose random Thursday mornings to release new information. But I know what you're all here for, so let's just get to it. What's up, gamers? My name is TSG, and welcome to the Cringe Fest. Today we're going over how to not suck in Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. As of the time we're recording, we can assume that every character levels from 1 to 99, changed from 1 to 60 in the Wii U version. NPC classes max out at 20, while player classes cap at 10. When your player character, Crossed or Ryan Xenoblade, I guess, hits rank 10, you can advance the class tree to the next stage. Going through the stats. HP is very self-explanatory. Don't hit 0. TP stands for tension points and are gained either through auto attacks or the special effects of some arts like Sliding Slinger. By default, you have a max of 3000 TP, but max TP up augments are very cheap. Getting exactly 1 to increase your cap to 6000 is worth it, but stacking too much without the means to generate TP even remotely that high can make the monsters catch you lacking. Reviving a teammate costs 3000 TP, giving them a short invincibility buff. However, dying resets your TP back to 0, so be careful. Some arts have a TP symbol over them, meaning they cost 1000 TP to use. Total ranged and melee just means your weapon power is added to your actual stat. This means very little in terms of damage output, so just focus on the normal stats. The attack stats are pretty self-explanatory, but something worth noting is that some arts scale off of the stat of the opposing type. For example, Assault Hammer uses your ranged weapon, but the damage is based on melee attack because it's an orange art. More on that later. Defense should be taken with a grain of salt. In the Wii U version, this was the most useless stat for reasons I won't get into here, but if Definitive Edition has made some balance adjustments, this might have changed. If I hear any news or make discoveries, they will be in the pinned comment below. Accuracy and evasion are also simple in premise. Your chance to hit is just your accuracy minus the enemy's evasion, represented in a percent. The minimum and maximum for these are 5 and 95, so you always have a 5% chance to hit or miss depending on which side you're on. As a side note, the total evasion buff ensures that all attacks on you are guaranteed to miss. Potential is the most important but least straightforward. To start, TP arts that deal damage scale off of this instead of the respective melee or ranged stat. Referred to as potential stacking, it was, and probably still is, one of the best ways to deal big numbers. Potential also affects healing by arts with the exception of repair, which heals by percent. With a high enough potential stat, you can full heal even tankier characters like Lyn. Resistances are the proper alternative to defense. These are also expressed in percents, meaning if you have a 50 beam resistance and take 1400 damage from a beam attack, only 700 is subtracted from your HP. At 100 resistance, any attack of that type is reduced to 1 damage. Knowing which attributes enemies most commonly use and stacking accordingly can easily make or break a fight. There are 12 different weapons in the game, which can be found within each class. You must have one ranged and one melee weapon equipped at all times. However, you are free to mix and match. To do this, you must hit class rank 10 with at least one of the classes at the end of the tree. You may then use those weapons with any other class, and, since arts are tied to whatever weapons you're holding, they're arts too. As a bonus tip, weapon auto-attack cooldown times count down even when the other weapon is held. To optimize your output, swap weapons between auto-attack cycles of the other weapon. This can be ignored if you really want to secondary charge a specific art and hold that weapon out all the time. There are a lot of decisions to be made when choosing your armor set, but here's the basics. You have 5 armor slots to choose from. Some pieces take more than one slot, but all of these are listed under the chestplate category. Armor upgrades come every 10 levels starting at level 5, so if you have a level 25 helmet, a better version of that one will be available at level 35. You might also come across worn or advanced pieces of gear. These are slight stat differences of the same sets with a -3 and +3 level requirement respectively. Alternatively, you'll also see broken wear. These just indicate drops for arms manufacturers that you don't have yet. They have 0 use otherwise, so toss them. Now for the meat of the combat. Arts. All arts have their own cooldown times, with stronger arts often having longer cooldowns. When holding the corresponding weapon, an art will begin its secondary charge. This is indicated by yellow ring around the art icon. These are almost always worth waiting for as they give special effects like extra damage or immediate reuse. Many arts also have a built-in bonus effect. A lot of these are self-explanatory, but melee and ranged combo can be a bit confusing. This just means that using an art of the associated weapon before the one listed triggers the bonus effect. For example, Furious Blast boosts damage in melee combos, so using Slit Edge before it would boost its damage. This combo effect only lasts a few seconds, so the arts have to be pretty close together and can expire mid-art, so watch your timing. You may have also noticed each art has their own color. These will be much more important later, but for now, here's what you should know. Orange are melee attacks and yellow are ranged. Greens are your general buff type move, and purples are generally debuffs. Blues are called auras and grant bonus effects only to the caster. These always cost TP and cannot be stacked, so don't have more than 1 or 2 in your arts palette. As you complete the other party members' affinity missions, you'll unlock what are called signature arts. These are normally exclusive to that party member, but the player character can learn all of them as long as you've done their respective quest. Skills are unlocked as you level your class, just like arts. They're more like your passive effects. Similar to arts, once you reach your required class rank, that skill can be used anywhere, except this time you don't need to max out the entire tree. So if you just want that melee attack boost from Mighty Muscle, you can take Striker to rank 7 and never touch it again. Each skill takes 1 slot and each class has their own number of slots. With the exception of Duelist, which has 3, all final stage classes have 4 slots. Except Drifter. Yes, the class you started with has no skills of its own but 5 whole slots. So if you see a bunch of high-level players running Drifter, this is why. It's also worth noting that each class has its own modifiers of each stat, with Bastion Warrior giving the highest bonus to melee attack and Mastermind giving the most potential. Drifter is a flat 100% to all of these stats. To really beef up your build, you'll need battle points. These are gained through combat, but a better source is the Collectopedia. Every lucky panel, row, or region you complete will give some BP to all characters. Every character has their own BP value, so no need to worry about balancing costs between party members. Every art and skill can be upgraded to level 5, with skills being the cheapest and TP arts being the most expensive. Soul voices are a bit of a weird one. These are the B prompts you see during battle sometimes. The prompt, officially called a soul challenge, appears when you meet certain criteria like breaking an appendage or dodging several attacks in a row. All the triggers can be found in the menu. When hitting a soul challenge, you heal the party slightly, gain some TP, raise the morale level, and send out a request. This request is associated with a certain art color. All of the party's available arts of that color will flash for a time. Using an art while it's flashing will give it the corresponding soul voice bonus and once again heal the party slightly. The higher the morale level, the faster these challenges are, but hitting one gives more TP. Some extra mentions here because they don't really fit in a category. You can actually play as other characters by putting them at the top slot of your active members menu. This is a great way to test out classes that you don't have yet. In the meantime, you can have finer control of your other party members with the battle menu. Press plus during a fight and select commands like Concentrate Fire, which will make your party target the same enemy or even the same appendage as you, or keep your tension up if you want them to save for revives. If you really want that extra boost to your build, consider crafting some augments. Most of these are really expensive, but earlier I mentioned grabbing 1 max TP up 20. These are super cheap and just require 5 fleecy fur from the Ovis outside NLA and 1 marine rutile. The rutile can be obtained from placing any tier mining probe on one of these FN sites. After progressing through the story enough, you'll gain access to a mechanic called Overdrive. While this could easily take up its own video, I'll keep it simple. Enel will undoubtedly have a more in-depth guide if you want to hit big funny numbers, but for now, Overdrive costs 3000 TP and lasts 25 seconds. While in Overdrive, secondary cooldowns recharge regardless of weapon held, cooldowns are shorter, and damage is higher. Additionally, arts will start a tertiary charge, indicated by a white circle around the icon, giving even stronger bonuses for waiting for that to charge. Overdrive can be refreshed by hitting the center button again, taking 3000 more TP, but retaining all of your current count. To gain the most benefit, you'll want to get as high of a count as possible. You get 1 count for hitting an enemy with an art 1 time. Assuming you don't miss, Sliding Slinger will give 6 count for 6 hits. AoE arts count each hit individually as well. Max count is 100 and certain effects will be stronger depending on how high your count is. That finally brings us to art color. As of Definitive Edition, there's now a little menu telling you what these do, but to keep it simple, green and blue extend overdrive duration and purple gains TP. Orange and yellow aren't special unless you combo them with other colors. By far the most useful combo is green into anything that hits. This will give you double the count per hit. Going back to the earlier example of Sliding Slinger, if you were to use something like Upper Hand before it, Sliding Slinger will now give 12 count. Chaining orange into orange and so on will give you more EXP for the fight. Similarly, yellow into yellow into yellow and so on will grant a bonus to your class experience. The only combo you really want to avoid is orange into yellow or yellow into orange. This has 0 effect and will not change the overdrive icon to the newly used color. So there you have it. I know it's a lot of information, but there are several things I glossed over to keep this video from being 3 hours long. You'll be punching way above your weight class with this guide, but I'd study up if you want to tackle the super bosses. If I get enough reception, I might make a similar guide to Skells, so let me know if you'd like to see that in the comments. Until then, have fun depopulating Mira's wildlife. In the name of America!